Hi there, this is Penelope. That was an abrupt end to the previous video. This is MG5004 or DE5418, and it's topic 2, topic 3, class 1, but it's now part 2. Right, we'll carry on from where we got up to in the previous one. We had taken this, we'd added 5 over 2 squared to each side. We'd simplified the right hand side, so we got that. Now we can take the square root of each side, making sure we've got the plus or minus square root, and then x is equal to negative 2.5 plus or minus the square root of 9.75. Now, depending on how you want your answer, it's approximately 0.622 or negative 5.622. Next one, we need to divide it by 4. And then divide both sides by 4, so the 4 is gone. And then we can put the 0.75 onto the right. And add half of this number squared to each side. That's what you're doing when you're completing the square. Okay, do the arithmetic. So x minus 2 squared equals 3.25. So x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 3.25. So x equals 2 plus or minus root 3.25, and that equals approximately either 0.197 or 3.803. So that's 2 ways of solving a quadratic. The third way is by using the formula, and the formula says that if ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in the first one, a is 5, b is 12, c is 3. So it's just putting it into the formula and doing some number crunching. And that gives you 2 answers if you approximate them. Okay, same for the next one. Here a is equal to 6, b is equal to negative 8, c is equal to negative 9. Now be careful if you've got negative numbers. Oops, negative. Again, just number crunching in your calculator. Okay. Now we come to cubics. Now this is a bit of an add-on to anything that you've probably done before. Now when you're finding the solution for quadratic by factorizing, you find 2 factors, and those 2 multiply together to get 0, then one of them must be 0. So this is the AB equals 0 thing. Same for cubics. So one of the factors must equal 0. But it's a lot easier if we could find a factor that makes it equal to 0 and then deal with the rest. So what we need to do is we need to try, say, x equals 1. If we put that in there, we get 2 minus 11 plus 18 minus 8. That's not 1. Sorry, that is 1. It doesn't equal 0. So x minus 1 is not a factor. What about trying x equals negative 1? So then we've got negative 2 minus 11 minus 18 minus 8. I don't think that's 0 either. So x plus 1 is not a factor. What if we try x equals 2? Then 2 times 2 cubed minus 11 times 2 squared plus 18 times 2 minus 8. Yes, that equals 0. So x minus 2 is a factor. Now we need to find what it is that x minus 2 times what equals 0. And the only way we can do that is by long division. Okay, so we need to do x minus 2 into that. Okay, sorry about that, technical hitches. Okay, so we need to do x minus 2 into 2x cubed minus 11x squared plus 18x minus 8. Okay, now we just deal with the x. X is into 2x cubed goes 2x squared. Now this is just straight out long division. Multiply 2x squared times x is 2x cubed minus 2x squared times negative 2 is minus 4x squared. Subtract. Bring down. Do it again. X into that goes minus 7x. So then we get minus 7x squared plus 14x. Subtract. Bring down. X's into that goes 4, 4x's minus 8, done. So we have x minus 2, 2x squared minus 7x plus 4 equals 0, and if we can factorize the last bit or solve it, then we've got our three solutions. Okay, it's not going to factorize, so for this bit then we need to find, using the formula that x is equal to 7 plus or minus the square root of negative 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 4 over 2 times 2. So from this half, x is approximately equal to, use your calculators. So adding in the third theory, the third answer from before, we had that x was equal to 2. So that one or that one. The next one is just a similar one, just a little bit harder. If we find, let's go for gold. I'm going to tell you that f of negative 1 equals 0. So then x plus 1 is a factor. I could have tried a lot more. In fact, I did try a lot more. I found negative 1 made it 0, but never mind. I'm helping you on your way. X plus 1 into 3x cubed plus 12x plus 13x plus 4. Okay, so 3x squared, 3x cubed plus 3x squared, subtract, bring down, it's going to be plus 9x, multiply, subtract, bring down, multiply, subtract, nothing. So what we've got left is then that x plus 1 times 3x, 3x squared plus 9x plus 4 equals 0. Now what I've done is I've used the formula and I've done so we get that x equals -1 or approximately equal to -2.4574 or -0.5426. So I just did this bit by using the quadratic formula. Now, if we get to solving inequalities, we just need to remember that when we're dividing by a negative number, we reverse the sign. That's all. Okay, let's start with the first one. When 3 minus x is greater than 0, then x is less than 3. Just rearrange that. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3 minus x. And it was less than 2 times 3 minus x. Left-hand side becomes 1 is less than 6 minus 2x. And then if we rearrange that, so we've got that -5 is less than -2x, and x is less than 5/2. This is a bit tricky. If you divide both sides by a negative number, you get -5 divided by -2, and then you reverse that, but that's what it ends up as. Okay, now what about the other side? Or actually, before we think of that, we've got now two things. We've got that x is less than 3 and x is less than 5/2. So it's got to be this one that holds. So x is less than 5/2. Now we do the second half. I'm not going to have time to do that one. The second half, this time we're going to have 3 minus x is negative, so that x is greater than 3. So we're going to do the same thing, multiplying both sides by 3 minus x, 1. Now we're multiplying by a negative number, so we need to switch the sign. So we've got 6 minus 2x. So -5 is greater than -2x. And again, this becomes -5 over -2. Switch the direction, which says that x is greater than 5/2. Now, we've already got x is greater than 3 from here, and x is greater than 5/2. So between them, both of those are combined to give that. So our final answer is x is greater than 3 or x is less than 5/2. So you've got the two parts of the answer. I'm not going to get this done, so I will start a third video.